Chapter 1. Like a soldier, I stood facing the two-story building looming over against the cloudy evening sky. My heart pounded in my chest like war drums as I anticipated the coming battle. Tonight was going to be my night to triumph once and for all. After what felt like an eternity, my feet carried me valiantly down the concrete path towards a pair of transparent glass double doors. These doors bore the words Starroom Arts Dance School, along with the symbol of a ballerina doing a pirouette amidst a swirl of hearts, flowers, and stars. With my hands, I pushed my way through these doors and made my way onto the proverbial battlefield, a wide room with chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, which cast a warm, yellowish 75-watt glow onto custard-colored walls. These walls were lined with bulletin boards that were plastered with news articles, white doors leading to various rooms, and champagne-colored sofas with mahogany tables next to them. Trying my best to ignore the sense of vulnerability that swept over me, I set my eyes and ears to work. As my stomach churned painfully and my sweaty palms gripped the straps of a backpack, my eyes canvassed the area, and my ears listened intently. The room was relatively empty, except for the receptionist who sat behind the desk gazing intently at a computer screen, and several girls around the age of 7 sitting on the carpeted floor in a group. All that could be heard was the chattering of these girls and the muffled sounds of different genres of classic, jazz, and hip-hop music issuing from behind the white doors along the wall. Every now and then the music would be interrupted by the indistinct sound of a voice giving instructions before resuming. My heart skipped a beat at the slightest movement. Quickly, my eyes darted over to the source to see what it was. It turned out to be a short freckle-faced girl in a pair of long white stockings wearing a dark blue leotard. Her red hair was pulled back into a short ponytail, which bounced slightly with her gait as she made her way to one of the white doors. Ignoring the slight feeling of being unwelcome, which usually crept over me whenever I entered these premises, I tried to remain focused on the task at hand. Leaving my shoes with the pile of others, my feet carried me carefully towards one of the sofas, as if to avoid setting off some sort of alarm that would somehow blow my cover. In a sweeping motion, I slung my backpack from around my shoulders, let it plop onto the sofa, and sat down next to it as if it was my best buddy. All I had to do now was wait. As I looked around the room, it occurred to me how exposed I felt. I needed to look as though I was preoccupied with another task so as not to give away my position. Unfortunately, my enemy had spies lurking within my very senses. My enemy would do its best to intimidate me by using my nervous system to rattle my composure. Quickly, my hand seized the magazine from the table next to the sofa to be used as a shield for my fortress. The plan was to seem distracted with this magazine and not as though I was anticipating someone's arrival. My brain was so caught up in how brilliant this plan was, my senses barely noticed when another blonde girl strolled by, chattering happily with 2 of her friends. My eyes had to do a double take before taking in the sight of a thin blonde girl of 14 with shining blue eyes and pink, bubblegum glistening lips. Kristen Bernadette. At the sight of Kristen, my brain was now beginning to realize that the plan, which it had so brilliantly set in motion, had worked a little too well. So well, in fact, that my eyes chose this very moment to alert my brain that the magazine in my hands was upside down. By the time I am getting ready for my first attack, my mind is already pelting me with a series of excuses pertaining to why it was a bad idea to try and interact with Kristen. She's not ready for you yet. You don't really know her that well. If you approach her now, you'll look stupid. One after the other, the excuses came non-stop, pelting me like grenades, landing in my brain and exploding on contact in white-hot bursts which left my brain stunned and dazed. I waited until Kristen disappeared into a room with her friends before wrenching my body off the sofa to make for one of the safest places in the area. My now shaking legs carried me towards a small corridor off the lobby. Once inside the corridor, I pushed my way through a door leading to the more coolly lit men's restroom. Leaning against one of the white marble sinks along the wall, I gazed at my visage in the mirror. A thin, bespectacled African-American boy of 17 wearing a black t-shirt with the number 11 in white on the front of it stared back at me with a look of fear on his face. Trying to regain my composure after my mind's first attack, I willed the look of fear on the face of my brave soldier to be replaced by a look of determination. Brow furrowed and teeth gritted tightly, I raised my fists and began thrusting them one after the other at my reflection. "Come on," I growled silently. "You want a piece of me, Sonny? Come at me, bro. I can take you. Why don't you and I take this outside right now, huh? I will take you all the way. How you like those apples? After throwing these demoralizing verbal threats at my mind to intimidate it, I thought it best to calm my nerves and get ready to plan another attack. With my fingers, I tugged at the collar of my shirt and took a whiff. A sigh of relief escaped my lips as a spicy scent filled my nostrils. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath.